Welcome back. This presentation will be on ADP and our attendance policy. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you at this time. Okay, so federal law requires us to maintain a daily record of hours worked by our employees. To assist us in complying with that law, we use ADP for our timekeeping attendance web clock. You should ensure that you clock in and out for all hours worked to ensure that we pay you for all hours worked. ADP collects actual time entered by you folks. So the time and attendance clock is a web-based system. So how the process works is you arrive at work for the day, you log into the laptop or iPad, whatever your manager identifies to you as the time clock, and you log into ADP. And there are clocks once you log in on your homepage that you will use to clock in and out for arrival, for breaks, for departure for the day. So just be sure that you're logging in and clocking in and out as appropriate. Now, we do realize or know that we all are humans and we may forget to clock in or out, and you should notify your manager that you've made that mistake and forgot to clock out or forgot to clock in, and your manager will make adjustments on the back end for you. So there may be a time where the time entry is missed and your pay is impacted by the missed punch. Administrative pay corrections are done within 24 hours of notice. So for example, it's Friday, you receive your payroll check and it's short. You notify your manager, who notifies me, or you contact me directly. I make the correction and issue the updated paycheck. But to avoid having to have a delay in receiving your pay, make sure you're clocking in and out and communicating any changes that are needed with your manager. We do expect our employees to exhibit professionalism in their punctuality and attendance. It is our desire to foster and develop an atmosphere of teamwork and communication. If you are unable to arrive at work as you are scheduled, you will need to contact your manager. And we'll talk through that a little more in just a bit. In short, all employees are expected to arrive on time, ready to work every day at their scheduled times. An absence is defined as an employee's failure to show up for work. There are actually two types of absences, and the first one is an excuse absence, meaning that you have provided your supervisor or manager with significant time to make adjustments to his/her schedule. and or have found acceptable coverage, meaning that you have contacted your team members to say, I can't come in, can you cover my shift? And or you have requested to use your paid time off to cover that absence. The second type of absence is an unexcused absence, meaning that you have failed to notify your manager in a significant time and you didn't schedule your PTO out, or you did not find coverage for your shift. In the event that you are going to be absent from work, you do need to notify your manager 2 hours before your scheduled shift. If you are expected to be late, meaning you cannot arrive at that time that you're scheduled, you need to contact your manager no later than 2 hours before that shift. So for example, if you're scheduled at 9 a.m. for your shift, you need to call your manager at 7 a.m. Calling your manager at 7 a.m. allows your manager to find your replacement. That does not make your tardiness excused. It's still unexcused depending on the reason for your being late, and we'll talk more about that shortly. Due to the importance of attendance and punctuality, each employee will have a limit of 4 unexcused tardies as well as 4 unexcused absences within a 3-month time period before disciplinary action is taken. And here on your screen, you'll see the disciplinary action for both unexcused absences as well as unexcused tardies. There is a reset period of 6 months for both unexcused absences and unexcused tardies. If you are going to be out sick, give as much notice to your manager as possible. So let's say it's Wednesday night, you're scheduled to start work 11 a.m. Thursday morning, and you have a fever or vomiting and just feeling all sorts of ways. That would be the appropriate time for you to make contact with your manager and let them know that it's highly likely you're not going to be there the next day because I'm feeling some type of way right now. I'm sick right now. So the sooner the better that you can notify your manager, the better. Now, the bare minimum notification needs to be 2 hours. What that 2 hours is doing is allowing your manager time to cover your shift. If you have called out for more than 1 day, but for sure 3 consecutive days, it's highly possible that your manager will require you to obtain a doctor's note before you're returning to the workplace. With COVID-19 happening, depending on your sickness type, the reason why you're calling out, if your symptoms are related to COVID, you will be required to go and get COVID clearance before returning back to the workplace. If you fail to report to the workplace for 3 consecutive days without notifying your manager, so it's called a no call, no show. Meaning you're scheduled for a shift 3 days in a row, and for 3 days you did not call your manager to say, I'm sick, I can't come in, I fell off a roof. We assume you no longer want to be employed with us. That's considered a voluntary termination. Your final check will be mailed to you to the last known address. Meal and rest periods. When you work 5 consecutive hours, you are entitled to a break. That is at the manager's discretion. The manager will likely schedule your break into your schedule. If you are taking a break for longer than 15 minutes, you do need to clock out. Break periods of 15-minute increments cannot be used to cover late arrivals or departures, or used to extend a lunch break or cover your leaving work early. If it is deemed necessary by your manager, we will do an audit on your time to ensure that you are not taking excessively long breaks. Excessively long breaks, if we kind of broke that out, that would mean you took a 15-minute break, for example, that you didn't necessarily account for, but you had to run to the bathroom, you had to take a quick call, but that quick run to the bathroom or quick couple-minute call is now extended beyond 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and you frequently make these excessive quick breaks throughout the day. Your manager will deem fit if we need to look into it further and take appropriate steps or disciplinary action based on your abusing the time clock. That covers our ADP time clock as well as our attendance policy. In short, if you're scheduled, show up for work. If you cannot arrive for whatever reason, communicate those needs to your manager. We do definitely understand life happens. Communicate that with your manager and get your shift covered if need be. We expect that you show up as scheduled and follow the attendance policy as we have listed here in our employee handbook. So again, that concludes this portion of the presentation. You will go ahead and proceed to the next video, which will be part 2 of our employee handbook and policies.